guys, and welcome to another video. I've gotten some requests to do more soft-spoken videos, so I'm going to try to incorporate that into today's video. What we're going to do in today's video is another reiteration of my physical therapy routine, except now I am on some different exercises from last time. So I'm going to show you guys those today. And I also have a couple of props that I was given from the physical therapist. And they're just kind of like these tubes that are made of like a foamy material. And one is more dense than the other. So the red is a little bit more dense and the blue is a little bit easier to squeeze because there's not as much material there. And the purpose of this we'll get to later, but for now I just thought I would show you. Okay, so we are going to move ahead. I'm just going to move a couple of things out of the way here. I have also my splint, so I'm just going to move that to the side. I might demonstrate with that in the beginning, but otherwise I'm going to have it off for this video. I also have what I think is called a sock, but it's not actually a sock, it's just kind of like a cloth tube that I put on my hand to have underneath the splint so that, it wicks away moisture and stuff like that. So that's going to go over there. I also have a couple of washcloths for a little bit later in the video. I'll put them to the side. Then I have as well a bowl of hot water. And this is going to really warm up my muscles in my hand. Okay, so we are going to transition here. Just moving a couple of these pieces of fabric away. This cloth that goes on my hand is really great, but it also puts these little tiny pieces of like black fabric everywhere. And they're not even enough to be called threads, they're just like these little pieces. Okay, so we are going to move ahead and we'll start the physical therapy exercises. So I always start my physical therapy by soaking my hand in a bowl of warm water. This one's actually pretty full. I probably should have put a little bit less water in here, but that's okay. Okay. My hand looks really weird in this bowl. It looks like 3 times bigger than it actually is. If I put it close to the edge, it looks kind of normal. But if I pull it back, it gets a lot bigger. That's so strange. Okay, so I'm really just going to kind of let my hand rest in the bowl for a little while. I'll usually rest it for about 5 minutes or so, until I really feel like the muscles in my hand have warmed up. So what's going on in my hand, and if you haven't seen previous videos, I'll just take a second to explain. But what I have going on is called acute calcific tendonitis. Something similar to this usually happens in the shoulder. And so it's pretty rare that it's going on in the hand. And where I have it is right in between this middle finger joint and this ring finger joint. It's right kind of in between where a tendon is. And it kind of shows up on x-rays as just like a piece of, it looks like a piece of bone. So again, where the name acute calcific tendonitis comes from, it basically means that there are calcium deposits on my tendon, which is great. Not. So it basically was causing a lot of inflammation. They thought that I had a fracture at first, but I didn't, and I went to a hand specialist and we got it all sorted out. So I'm now doing the physical therapy exercises that the hand specialist gave me. So I've been feeling a lot better lately. I have a lot more range of motion, which I'll show you later as we go through the exercises. But it just kind of feels better overall. There isn't that sense of like, if I were to accidentally bump into something, there would be a lot of pain. So there's really not much pain. It's more like a feeling that the tendon has been still for so long that it just kind of has like contracted. So it just feels like there's tension, and I can't really make the usual movements that I used to be able to make. But we're gonna be working to get back toward that point. And something else that I want to share that I think is really cool. Apparently they do this at nail salons, but I had never heard of this. But usually my hands are very cold, so when I go into physical therapy at the office, they actually have this vat of melted paraffin wax, and you dip your hand into it slowly, like 6 or 7 times, until you kind of have like a coat of wax on your hand. And obviously, since it's warm melted wax, it feels very warm, and you kind of take it out, you let the last few drops kind of go back into the vat, and then it begins to harden, and they'll wrap a paper towel around your hand, and then they'll wrap a regular towel over it to kind of hold in the heat. And it just feels so wonderful to have that heat being concentrated on those muscles. And again, I wasn't aware that they do this in nail salons, but I don't know, it was very relaxing. I'm not sure why they do it in nail salons, because obviously the point would not be to warm up your muscles, but I did just find that it was very relaxing. And I also found that, I don't know, it was kind of moisturizing as well, so that could be a reason why. Okay. I'll do like a minute longer in here. It's not as hot as it was in the beginning, but that's okay. This is my favorite part of the physical therapy, because you're just kind of doing nothing and waiting. So I think I'm going to begin to get my towels ready. I'm just going to put these aside for a quick second. And we'll put this over here. We're going to begin to lay out this white hand cloth here. It has a tag down there, but we'll just tuck it away. Okay. I like when it has the actual droplet sounds. Okay. So I'm going to move this aside, and we'll be all done with the water for right now. I'm going to put my hand into this towel so I don't get my surface wet. Okay. And I'm just going to move that aside. Alright. So I'm gonna start off by rolling my hand with this little foam roller. And this is how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna kind of start at my palm and work my way down the fingertips, and then I'm gonna hold it for about, I don't know, maybe 3 to 5 seconds. And then we're gonna go back. And I am kind of pressing lightly, but it's really not much. And I'm gonna do this probably maybe 20 times to begin to lengthen the tendon on the other side of my fingers, on the inside of my hand. And the key here is really to go nice and slow. With any exercise in physical therapy, you want to kind of, push yourself a little bit so that you're making progress, but not so much that you're actually re-injuring yourself and then kind of taking a step backwards. So I'm going to try to go slow. Now I haven't been counting, but I'm thinking that might be the 4th or 5th time. This might be the 6th. So we'll go with that. So I want to just show you real quick. Right now, after the heat and the rolling that we've just done, I can flatten my hand fairly well, but as you can see here, it is still kind of coming up a little bit in the middle, around like these 3 knuckles. It kind of comes up. So if you compare it to my other hand, I can really kind of hyperflex all those joints here. Where's this one? It's much more difficult because it's been the splint for a while, a couple weeks now actually, so it's no wonder that these don't have as much flexion. Okay, we're going to continue there. Now sometimes I'll do this for a few minutes straight, and then afterward I find that I really can, have more extension in the hand. This is a pretty passive stretch I found, and it's pretty relaxing. It's a way to kind of stretch out your whole hand at once without really forcing anything. No one's pulling on you or tugging on you. It's just kind of the weight of your hand creating that downward force. Kind of letting my pinky fall off at the end there because I already have pretty good flexion in my pinky, so that's okay. It's more the other 3 knuckles, I think, that are the main issue. So I think I'll do like 3 more of this. And then we'll move on to our next exercise. I feel like the motion on the towel kind of creates like a ocean wave sound. I'll do one more for good luck. Okay. So that's that with our roller. We'll see how much I can flatten now. So already, it's pretty good. I can kind of, I can come down a lot more over here, and it just feels better. It feels like I have more of a stretch, which is nice. Okay, so we've stretched the hand out this way. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to work on opening and closing my fists, and there's actually 2 ways that I can do this. The first way is kind of hinging from the middle of the palm like so, then hinging from these knuckles like so. So you're kind of creating like a hook. It's not quite a fist, it's more like a hook. So see the difference there? Okay, so we're going to do that same thing over here. I'm going to just do it facing this way. Try to extend for a few seconds, and then I'm going to come back. So initially, you can kind of compare, but from this angle, you can really see a difference. Right now I'm going to do a few where I'm opening and closing the fist fully. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to bring these tips of my fingers to really touch my palm. And with each one I kind of get a little bit closer. Do about 15 more, and we'll count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm going to do 5 extra for good luck because this feels really good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that stretch feels really, really good. And as you can see, I'm not sure if you noticed, but when I initially began, I couldn't really quite get this middle finger to touch my palm. But as you can see, it is doing that now. So it's kind of stretched out a tad. Alright, and now we're going to go to the one where you're kind of bending, you're hinging at the line across your palm. Do about 5 more of these. Now we're going to add in the fists, kind of the hook fist, so that's 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so we're good on that one. So next we're just going to work on elevating the fingers one at a time. So we're going to start at the thumb and we'll work our way across. So if we do a comparison here, my left hand is pretty good. Pinky height, so does my right. That one's fine. I think the ring finger though might be like, and it's hard for me to isolate the movement on this left hand. There we go. So even on my left hand, I can't get very high with that ring finger. In my right hand, it's kind of similar, so that looks okay to me. The middle finger though on my left hand can go pretty high, and I can kind of hold it pretty well. So when you compare that to my injured one, this one can only go like half the height that my other one can. But again, that's okay. I'm not going to push it too much. I'm just going to repeat it. And then both my index fingers are pretty good. Thumbs, they're not as much of a concern because they're kind of out of the way. Alright, so I'm going to do it one more time, but I'm really going to focus on my injured hand. And I'm just going to go slow. You can see that it's already kind of moving around there. It's not as stable as some of my other fingers, but that's okay. So I think this is the third time around. We're going to do 10 more. That's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Okay. So that stretch is all set. Toward the end of it, I felt like I had a little bit more give, which was nice. Okay, so the next one I'm going to work on is just kind of spreading and closing my fingers. And then just for fun, I might do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, kind of moving them apart. Okay, so let's try that on my other hand, my right hand. I'm just going to do the basic. I'll do 10 of those. 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'll just try for fun. See if I can do this. So I'm definitely much weaker, even in terms of my coordination. Like, it's kind of rough. I haven't really used my right hand though for much in the past month. Well, over a month. Like a month and a couple weeks maybe. Okay. So that's it for that exercise. I'm trying to just think of any other ones I can show you guys. Oh, I wanted to show you the difference in the textures here. If you squeeze them, this one's a little bit easier to squeeze. So I'm not even at the stage right now with this hand where I am squeezing this prop. I'm just going to call it a roller. So I'm not quite at the stage where I'm squeezing this roller. And again, this one's a little bit denser because it has more foam to it. Okay, so that's that. One other exercise that I was given is one in which you kind of hold on to this towel and you just rub it back and forth across the surface, and the point is to lightly squeeze and lightly grip. So I'm just going to do this about 20 times. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and guess that I've done like 12 so far. So let's see, this is 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay. So that one's all set. I'm just going to refold my towel here. It's not quite even on both sides, but that's okay. Fold it into thirds. Actually, I want this part to go into the middle. Here we go. Put this to the side. Okay. And then part of the physical therapy, again, is to just kind of keep it warm. And I don't know if this helps a whole lot, but I try to do it at the end of my exercises, where I'm just kind of like pushing the skin back to kind of help with the blood flow, and maybe to help kind of, just warm it up, keep it warm, and maybe help to reduce any swelling. Plus it just kind of feels nice at the end. But yeah, I think we've done all the exercises. As far as I know. Now again, these exercises were given to me specifically based on this condition that I have, so I wanted to really just show you guys for demonstration purposes. I am not a doctor or a physical therapist, so I can't say whether these would be helpful at all. If you do have a hand injury, I would say to go see a specialist and get a good opinion, because even when I saw the surgeon, we had the wrong diagnosis, and I don't know, it was kind of just hard to realize that I had gone to see one doctor for a few weeks, and I was getting this treatment that wasn't really effective, and just made me realize that, you know, you really need to seek out the most effective treatment possible right away anytime you're faced with an injury. I've mentioned before in previous videos that I do also have chronic lower back issues. So my body is really just like a barrel of laughs. And luckily for the past couple months, my back has not hurt at all, because the physical therapist who worked on my back really, really helped me out. He was using myofascial release techniques on my spine, and it was just wonderful. It was magical, really. Myofascial release, I won't even imitate it, but basically it's just like the tiniest movements to kind of help realign your spine. And it was not like, a chiropractor where they're kind of doing these quick movements on you. There was nothing startling. I would sometimes even be tempted to fall asleep during the sessions because it was so relaxing. And it was just a really, really good technique, and this person was very good at it. So that really helped to heal my back from its last injury a few months ago, but I've been feeling pretty great ever since, and I've been very thankful for it. So, this issue with my hand, although it's my writing hand, and I want to be able to use it with my full function, of course, I also realize that, I could be worse off. It could be my back again. So I'm willing to deal with this pain and work through it, because I know that it's definitely not as bad as it could be. I can still kind of write with this hand. I can write with my left hand. I can still walk around. I really don't have too much limitation with this. As opposed to when my back goes out, then I really have a tough time. I have to stay home from work for a couple days. I can't really walk very easily, so. And anyone who's had back issues, how crippling it can be. So, to be dealing with this, yes, it's kind of hard, and it's a little bit frustrating that's taking a while to heal, but I am perfectly content to work on it and, do what I need to do and put in the work that I need to put in order to get that full range of motion back and to be pain-free. So I'm feeling optimistic about it, and I think it's, had some good progress, and I'm really just thankful that I get to go to a place that specializes in the treatment and healing of hands, and they really know what they're talking about, so I feel very confident with them. Okay, you guys, so, I think we've done all the exercises. I've done a little bit of self-massage here on my hand, and we warmed it up with the water. What I'm going to show you guys to finish up the video is how I normally put on the splint. So this is a clean piece of cloth here, and it's a tube. So what happens is you can just open up one end and you can kind of go in there. And I put my index finger and my thumb through, and then it just kind of covers the rest. And I like how this is long because I like having this fully covered, because otherwise kind of like, I don't know, you get a little bit sweaty in there and then it's not very pleasant. So alright, this is my splint. Showed it to you guys in the previous video. Yes, there is dog hair and cat hair on it. I have a dog and a cat that I pet with my hands, so that is that. And also, I wear this when I go to sleep, so sometimes I'll get like, you know when fabric gets pills on it? Like those little rolls of fabric after it's kind of worn out a little bit. So I'll get those on the Velcro part of my splint. But it's okay, you can just kind of take it off later. Alright, so what I do is I open up this piece of Velcro here. And, whoops, there we go. And then I just kind of put it in there. And see what I mean? I like how long this fabric was, because then it goes all the way to the end. So it feels pretty good. Okay, then I just kind of make sure that this fabric covers all edges of the splint. So I want it to kind of come over a little bit more here, so that this part is overlapping. Then once this is on, what I'll do is I'll take this piece again, bring it across the wrist, or the lower part of the thumb, I suppose. This is going to come all the way across, and it's going to connect to this piece of Velcro here, like that. Then once that's attached, it is on there, we're good to go. And what I like to do with the excess is actually fold it up like this, because that way it kind of helps to block all this Velcro and all these straps from like catching on things like my clothes or stuff like that. And it also just feels good down here to not have it hanging all the way down your arm. So yeah, it kind of becomes like a weird glove. And I joke that it makes me have a claw, but it kind of feels like that sometimes, but that's okay. So I can actually kind of write with these two fingers now. And generally I wear this when I go to work, just to protect my hand. I wear it when I'm driving, when I'm sleeping, basically any situation where like I could unpredictably not get my hand against something, I'll wear it. But in a situation like this, where I'm casually filming an ASMR video, I'm gonna take it back off again, because I don't need to be wearing it. And it's actually a little bit better if it can rest out of the splint. Okay. So it's great now. It can come on and off again. Really, really like that. It's so convenient because, if you're going to take a shower, a bath, if you get something on your hand, you have to wash your hand, you can just take everything off and go for it. There's nothing standing in your way, so it's much more convenient than a cast. And it really just allows your skin to breathe and, not get so dry or irritated underneath that cast. So yeah, guys, I think we're all set with this video. I showed you guys pretty much everything there was to show in regard to this physical therapy and where I'm at right now. I do have a appointment tomorrow to do another follow-up, so we're gonna see how it looks then. Obviously, this video is being filmed at a different time from when it's being posted, so I'm sure by the time I actually post this, there will have been additional progress, and I will have already met with the doctors for the appointment, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So it should be good. Alright, you guys, I hope this video was interesting and relaxing. Maybe you learned something about, how physical therapy is helpful for injuries. And it may help you out if, you ever encounter a situation where you might have an injury. I really recommend physical therapy in general if you're facing an injury. It's just so incredibly helpful what you can really do to help heal your own body in those cases. So I would encourage you to check it out if you are feeling strains or injuries right now. And if you are, I hope, you have the best healing that you can possibly have. Okay. So guys, I hope you have a great day or night whenever you're listening to this. Again, as always, please feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought, and if you have any requests for future videos, okay? Alright, hope you guys have a great day or night whenever you're listening to this, and I will see you in the next video.